Hello there, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Matt, and we're going to play some Rebel Inc. today. This is a continuation of my Brutal Challenge series. Every week, Ndemic Creations releases a new normal difficulty challenge and brutal difficulty challenge with tactics and features that generally make it more difficult than the base game. I will look at the brutal challenge, sight unseen, analyze all of the different tactics and features and how I think they're going to make things easier or harder, and then I will play through the challenge and hopefully win. I should mention that this is best for people who have some familiarity with the game. It is not necessarily new player friendly. I am in the process of creating a How to Play Rebel Inc. series that will be new player friendly. If that is published at the time you are watching this, you will find it in the description. But for now, we are going to go ahead and check out the challenge of the week, the first challenge of 2026. Here we are, Fast Spear. Let's take a look. So we start with the general. He is very military based, so he has a lot less flexibility when it comes to the civilian initiatives. So it really depends on what people want that make things a little more trickier. We have the Southern Desert map, is what it looks like from this guy here, which is not that bad. I actually find that to be the second easiest next to Saffron Fields, but I also find that with easier maps, they tend to amp up the tactics, so I will talk about those in a minute and see what we're working with. We each start with some territory, and that is how that affects the game is very dependent on what we, on where it ends up. With government control, the good thing about it is it starts stable, so it holds off the reputation loss from instability, but if it's in an unfavorable place, it is very easy for the insurgents to take and hard to defend. So again, it really depends on where this is. And over here, the opposite is true. It is easy to take this back from the insurgents at the beginning of the game, depending on where it is. However, you will upset some people if you do that, and at the same time, there will be a higher reputation loss, if the insurgents take it back later in the game. So these two, again, it really depends on where they end up, on how much of a problem they're going to be. And we have a whole fleet of advisors here. We have gain bonus support level in urban zones, never a bad thing. Initiatives which improve zone security are more effective. Okay, so I might want to go for security first. We'll see. Gain more income from stable zones. I believe that's the tax collector, and she's great. I actually use her a lot, so that's going to be a very valuable one. It means that you don't, even if your reputation is low, if you have a couple of stable zones, you're going to get more budget, which if we start with some stable zones, then that should be help out, actually. Coalition soldiers significantly more effective at preventing collateral damage from airstrikes. That's good. I don't find that to be a huge impact on the game. I usually don't use this guy. This is the censor, I believe. Reduce reputation loss when insurgents capture zones. Never a bad thing. And then over here, we can go into debt at the expense of reputation. So I just need to keep an eye on that and not know it's an option, but not use it more than I need to. Let's take a look at what the map has to offer. Locals in this region have a significant concern to be addressed. Again, depends on what it is. With the general, like I said, you have less flexibility on those initiatives, so I'm not really sure what to expect here. It really depends on what the concern is, whether or not cause a problem. Over in player tactics, we have sniper support. Fleeing insurgents take 1 casualty for every soldier and garrison assisting in the fight. That's pretty cool. That means garrisons are going to be valuable. And here, start with significantly more garrisons. We already start with more garrisons. I think we start with 3 because of the general. This will probably kick it up to 5 or 6. These two combined together are going to be a very powerful combo. And then, again, I'm not sure why both of those are here. Maybe it increases reputation loss because this is fundamentally the same thing that this advisor does. So I just need to keep an extra sharp eye on that. Over on insurgent tactics, they have overwhelming force. Insurgents can kill national soldiers, requiring more to be trained, and insurgents increase in number when soldiers flee combat. These two are a very powerful combination because it means I really need to make sure that I know I can win a fight before I commit any soldiers to it. If I don't, they will either kill the soldier or they will fleeing will make the insurgents more powerful. Neither of which is a good thing. So overall, they definitely have a powerful loadout here, but so do I. So should be a fun game. Let's go ahead and get started and check it out. All right, here we are in Southern Barrens. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map here. So we have these 3 areas as our HQ. This one isn't super helpful. Actually, none of these are all that helpful. The thing is, these get attacked a lot. And because of especially this city here. And this early in the game, or at the beginning of the game, it's very hard to defend it. These guys have just roads instead of highways, so it's very difficult to get soldiers down here as necessary. In addition, we have these 2 right next to it, these 3 right next to it, which I really don't like. There's probably going to end up being a base here, but I don't see me being able to defend this very well at all, especially this one being in the mountains. Now, we also have these 2 random areas here and here. Excuse me. And I think that those will actually be easier to take. What I like to do a lot of the time when I play is try to corner the insurgents in one area as best as possible. So what I think I'll do is at the start of the game, get soldiers enough to take out this guy and this guy first, and then I can worry about everything down here. I'm going to put my HQ here. So this is the most central location. It is right next to the biggest city. I could put it down here potentially and try to protect all these, but again, you have so little time to get there that I don't think it'll be worth it. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep it here, and we'll go ahead and kick things off. And we get lots of garrisons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total. These will be helpful for fighting these zones, but again, I don't think it's going to be worth to try to protect any of these. So let's go ahead and start us off. We'll get our intel. We'll get our. We'll start with. We want to start with roads, or we want to start with the getting them, some of their civilian initiatives. Let's go ahead and start rolling these guys. No, let's start with roads. And the reason I'm doing this is because with the general, it is easier to center all of his civilian initiatives in one group, so I'll focus on the infrastructure group. Let's go ahead and let that tick down a little bit. And now we'll go ahead and pick up main roads. That'll help things spread out a little bit. And I think if I can, we're gonna jump to the anti-corruption 1, which we can. Now, one thing I should note is that with the general, I could get soldiers now if I wanted. He, to the best of my knowledge, is the only governor where you can get soldiers before the insurgency starts. However, if I do the coalition soldiers too early, then they will be running out of time by the time I actually need them. So I want to go a little slow here. Let's go ahead and break out. Let's go ahead and get anti-corruption 2, just to get that ticking down. I find that if I can tackle corruption early on, it's much less of a problem than if I have to deal with it later in the game. This is already looking pretty stable. People seem happy so far. No main complaints. We'll go ahead and start rolling out telecoms, and then I think it's time to start worrying about the military. We also have this specialist up here. I like to grab the rural ones. I think so. Specialists will give you a boost in various types of zones. This one is rural. I think that might be useful, but most of the fighting is going to take place in remote zones, Like, all of these are remote. This is rural, but these are easy enough to defend in the first place. On this map, I really don't think it's worth to keep that. I'll trade it in and get the cash. Alright, I think that's enough to get started on our first soldier, and then we can get our national soldiers in just a moment. But I don't want to do that yet. Let's go ahead and let's start with interpreters and guides, and human terrain system we'll wait on. That costs $1 extra. And let's go ahead and get these guys started taking care of these zones. I actually should have gone, okay, and not a second too soon. Let's go ahead and get that. He's there clearing that up. Yep, that's fine. They're angry. They'll do that. All right. Sets them. I should have done this one first, so that way I can send that same soldier up here to collect the rural specialist to get the cash out of that. But if I can get him there in time... We got one stable already. That is good. So he's upsetting them, but we're all done there. Alright, let's... Okay, so that means there's a base somewhere around here. Okay, I'm seeing two of them spawning right here and here. Okay, then in that case, let's see if I can send them over here, see if I can get rid of this quick. And let's go ahead and get our second coalition soldier to protect kind of this region here. If I can push them out of here, and I got 2 garrisons. Yeah, there's the camp right there. You can see the question mark. So I'll go ahead and see if I can sweep this area. Might be able to make it in time. And let's go ahead and get our national soldiers started. Because if I can keep them away from this region at all, maybe I'll be able to protect these after all. So killing one camp is a good thing. Let's give him a second here to make sure we have full intel, which we do. We're still angry, though. And then let's move him over here. And then I think this is not going anywhere. There's no guys near there, so good for the time being. And I think, let's see. So I'm holding off on getting effective procurement because this makes everything else more expensive. And I don't really want to jump on that yet. So let's go ahead and grab Outreach Office will be useful. And that'll allow us to start getting security initiatives as well. I can get security initiatives earlier than that. Okay, yep. Didn't get there in time. Unfortunate, but nothing we can do about it. Let me see if I can bring him over here to help him destroy the base. So if we can kill that base, what we got? Women's right law proposed. Okay, so, rights law proposed. Whenever you get these, it's usually no reform, full reform, and then somewhere in the middle. There's a couple that are like this, and generally at this stage in the game, you will get lower support zones in the remote and rural zones. You'll get lower support level in the remote and rural zones if you select this one. But the reputation, in my opinion, is worth it. I'm gonna let it ride for just a minute, see if I can get that to tick up a little bit. That 52%, see if I can get just a little bit higher. Alright, well, we are not going to be able to protect that, but now that okay, so that's cool, that's fun. Let's go ahead and do full reform. Yep, decrease in zone support level, and then if we saw that coming, we have a lot of money to spend, so let's go ahead and spend it. Let's go ahead and start on Anti-Corruption 3, and what do people want? People want health, and alright, we'll get started on this zone here, health, water, and we'll stay there for right now. I overdid it. Okay, we'll let that tick up a little bit. We're not in urgent. We're in pretty good shape right now. And I think, actually, I can come there because of the sniper support. I can use the garrison to take him out. So that'll be helpful. And then we can have this zone, this area completely clear, which is exactly what we want. Alright, let's go ahead and I want to get, what do I want to get? It's probably a good idea to get the second one of these guys going, so let's go ahead and do that. So that'll take a few months to load out. We'll have him defending here. He's got 2, yep, there we go. That's exactly what I was hoping for. He's got 2 garrisons helping him out, so now we got this whole area pretty well defended. And I'm going to send one of these guys up to get the remote specialist. Like I said, I don't think I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and let it go. I'm going to go ahead. I'm short 2 for Anti-Corruption 4. I think I will go ahead and grab that because we are at that point. And then I think it is the time to grab effective procurement. All right, we got second cave up there, so I got to be mindful of that. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and sell their equipment, gain a couple extra bucks. Let's go ahead and grab effective procurements. And then people still want water and health. Let's go ahead and I have enough to buy this water. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I think it'll be time to start working on some PR. All right. Yep, I know that. We're in really good shape as far as reputation goes. Not as stable as I'd like as of yet, but we're getting there. So let's go ahead and PR is the next step. Yep, and that one is definitely more expensive for the general than for others. Gotta wait till it's up to 16. These garrisons are very helpful. That's the other thing I want to get is garrisons, but they're pretty well spread out. I'm in pretty good shape right now. Now, usually with the general, you can get away with the first just having PR1 rather than getting both levels of it. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. Yeah, that already stabilized one zone right there. Alright, do I have enough to afford number 3? No, not yet. Because eventually I'm going to lose these guys. I want to make sure I have enough of these to help out. And while we're doing this, we do just want to make sure we're keeping half an eye. There we go. Half an eye on others. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move him over here and him here. Because this will actually, that worked out. Not exactly what I was aiming for, but it's helpful. This guy will upset the city less than the coalition soldier will, which is why I want him here. And we're going to go for broke and get number 4 out. And now we're done with soldiers. And again, we're still in pretty good shape. That sniper support is very helpful as well. I think what we're going to do is... No one really needs anything right now. Let's go ahead and start working into the remote zones. The roads will help there. Okay, coalition soldier deployment over soon. We do want to start making these soldiers more powerful. They got plenty of support from the garrisons, but I got to make sure they have enough power. So I like to start with speed, so they're a little bit more flexible in where I place them. The national soldiers tend to be very slow, usually. Again, these guys are holding them off, no problem. What do we got here? Okay, so this is where I need to buy the Foreign Relations Office, so that becomes the top priority. And we're in good shape right now, so I'm going to send him home, move him over here. The reason is this is the easiest to get to. He can get there, as can the others. We have enough to get Foreign Relations Office, so let's go ahead and get it. And now this will not cost us money at all. So let's go ahead and clear this out of the way. And let's go ahead and make our national soldiers more powerful. The general has both of these. That will significantly increase national soldier combat strength that are much cheaper, just about half of these two. So I'm going to go ahead and get artillery upgrades because it's more expensive, and I had the money for it. There we go, keeping them nice and contained. And what I think I want to do, I got them pretty well contained here, but just in case another one pops up elsewhere, I want to get drones going. I don't want to run to a scenario where another camp pops up and I miss it because I'm so focused on this one area. And just to be extra safe, I need one more for that to make the drone go off a little bit more. Let's go ahead and get rid of you while there's no fighting, and we'll send the next one of these over here. And you can see how much slower this is than the coalition soldier. Alright, let's go ahead and speed these up a little bit. Okay, again, in pretty good shape. Still having some people complaining about water, so let's go ahead and get basic sanitation rolled out. Aha, okay, so there's one camp. There might be another floating around, so I just gotta be careful and keep an eye out. Alright, we got our full soldiers. I could start pushing, but I don't need to right now. What I am going to do is start getting more garrisons out. I don't really need them, but it will help to kill insurgents and to make sure that no bases pop up in inopportune areas. Alright, now I'm going to start pushing because I got the garrison support here. And that's completely empty, so that was the right call. Let's see. I think we can go ahead and swing for... I don't think I need this. Is there something more valuable that I do? Yeah, let's get out some security initiatives. Because we're in pretty good shape with just PR1 right now. And now I have enough to get out local police reinforcement, which is more effective. Or local police recruitment, excuse me. And we know it's more effective. Dirt tracks have been repaired there. Great. We are getting no initiatives out here, though. So what I want to do, actually, is get remote zones to get more initiatives, since that is most of what I have left in terms of in terms of unstable zones. This one is going to be... okay, oh, great. Oh, both bases are here. That's fantastic. Oh, cool. Okay. So in that case, we're getting peace talks. They definitely aren't going to... We are in good shape in terms of... I always like to let this one run out at this stage in the game, run out to its maximum before I use it. We are in really good shape. Let's go ahead and do strategic communications. Let's get PR2. We are good on reputation, so I'm just going to go ahead and delay, and that doesn't antagonize them, doesn't make them more powerful. They already have very low capability, but still, I want to be extra safe. This looks empty, so I'm going to go for it, see what happens there. We're just slowly pushing in, and let's go ahead and... Corruption is relatively high, so let's go ahead and do our first corruption purge. That'll help. They'll be attacked, but that's alright. He's getting a little bit more resistance than I'd like, so let's get the second upgrade, and that'll help him out. And I could start going for airstrikes if I wanted to, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to right now. The garrisons are really effective at killing insurgents, and as soon as they blow up these bases, they're going to start popping up elsewhere. So I think I'd rather do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for this one, remote subsidies, which will help push some of these remote zones over the edge. Although they seem to be doing a pretty good job as is. What we got here? This is subtle pressure. I'll let that tick up as high as possible. Every second you wait is more likely that it'll work. Here we go. So you get a follow-up. If I picked one of the others before, I wouldn't get these options. I'll lose 4 reputation if I roll it back. I don't want to reject concerns, so we're going to engage critics. And I have the money to spare. Now let's go ahead and get remote subsidies rolled out. And now we'll go ahead and do subtle pressure. Hey, it lowered their capability. Awesome. They are still super low, so that's not a bad thing. And what else do I have to work with? Alright, let's go ahead and continue making these guys powerful. And we'll let that tick up all the way. And now I think... Okay, great. Need this one to go out. Let's go ahead and get remote roads too. And we'll stay there for right now. Education is too expensive. Alright. Delay will decrease in support level, but that's a little high. I'll lose reputation if they don't want to talk. So let's go ahead and threaten this time around. Okay, good. That one being stable is good, and we are in really good shape. This is going very, very well. Alright, being attacked there. And let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll get level 2 of police. No, we'll get remote outreach too to finish off some of these stable zones, or some of these remote zones. I just have these 2 left. Great, that is awesome. I always forget, is it garrison, every soldier and garrison. So yeah, so we are in really good shape. That is a problem. That is frustrating. Let's get one of these guys over there now. You are in the best case. Okay, so we need to take out both of these. So let's get you and you over there. And that's what I was worried about. So let's see what we got here. Subtle, no, I'll wait. We're not in dire straits yet, but I do have enough to get myself another coalition soldier, so that'll help out. They'll probably retake this one, which is frustrating, but not the end of the world. I'll put you here. They are remote zones, so we don't lose nearly as much reputation for having them retaken. And we have the sensor as well. Unfortunate that the subtle pressure didn't work, but that's okay. Alright, what I am actually going to do... Okay, rumors of insurgent against my... this is one where we can launch raid, or we can dismiss concerns. Now here, you can see either option, or I can just pay off, which I don't want to do. You can see here, that launching a raid, there's a much lower chance that it's going to end badly, versus this, if I dismiss concerns, there's a much higher chance that they're working with the insurgents. So in this case, I'm going to launch a raid, and I was right, we decreased their capabilities, so that is a good thing. And I'm going to bring this guy back over, but I'm going to leave him here until that zone is stable. No chance of insurgents refusing talks, that is good, and I think it's time for my final push, so we're going to go ahead and make that happen. Actually, we're going to start him here. Just need to make sure, yeah, that's fine. Alright, this became stable, so what I'm going to do is actually have him move over here, and I have so much money to spend. Let's go ahead and get that going, and now let's go ahead and pull airstrikes. Great, camp is done. There we go. He's going to move there. I think this might be empty, actually. So that's a good sign. And then we are going to move him down here. And let's go ahead and do that. And we'll make them provide more support as well, which will be helpful. There we go. Another camp done. What we got here? Imprison all insurgent leaders. Absolutely. And then let's go ahead and get some democracy in here. That'll be helpful. That'll get our reputation up, and it'll make the people happy, which is what we want at the end of the day. Alright, soundly defeating those guys, so not super worried. I want you to be here. Alright, what do we got here? International forces remain. While we're fighting, I like to, again, let this go out until the very end. Or until I have to. Here we have prioritize elections, plan elections, or postpone elections. You don't want to postpone elections if you can at all avoid it. I would only plan the elections, which takes place in 3 years. I will usually do that, but we have the option to do it next year, and we have it really under control. I would do this if I didn't have it under control yet. We have it under control, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, good. We just have these last couple zones to clean out, and then we are done. So let's go ahead and, oh, we got another garrison. That's fun. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and pop him over here. International forces remain indefinitely, although based on the looks of this, that's not going to be super necessary in the immediate future. This is a little annoying. Okay, if I don't get this one, if the chance is not with me, then we will get more insurgents here. At this stage in the game, that's probably fine, but I want to do the one. Unfortunately, I got unlucky, is what it comes down to. But we have enough soldiers and enough control that should not be a problem. Let's go ahead and do some subtle pressure. I don't anticipate that these guys will give me too much trouble, and I can just move him in here to deal with that. I guess I could have moved him up there. That's my fault. Or my mistake, I guess. But either way, we're in really good shape here. Let's go ahead. We can apologize. We can cover up. We can downplay. Definitely don't want to downplay. That doesn't really do anything. I will cover up. Usually I do this if it's less than 10% chance. So I'll go ahead and do that. Excuse me. We still got plenty of money left. Let's go ahead and just eradicate some corruption. That's never a bad thing to do. He's moving down here, and once he's there, that's basically going to be game over. Let's give him a little bit of an extra boost. And then we'll go ahead and do this. Insurgents banned. He just killed him. So now we are going to go ahead and do... Oops, give it a second. Once this goes away, now we can do full elections and basically be guaranteed that we get the reputation. And now that that all the insurgents are destroyed, we can just go ahead and focus on getting the peace talks through as quickly as possible. That gives us makes our reputation go higher, and it ends the game. Let's go ahead, agree to peace deal. All right, and here we are. Go ahead, go on through. We got one left. 3, 2, 1. There it is. All green. That is a victory. Oh, great. Police numbers soar by 69%. Awesome. All right, that is a victory. There we go. That was the timing I was looking for. Okay, so this one was actually, I did not find this one particularly difficult. I really didn't have a lot of trouble here. Basically, with the general, anything that boosts his garrisons is going to make him really powerful because he has just he starts with so many garrisons, and he's already really stacked in the military, so giving him even more stuff with that really boosts him up. If I look, I don't think my reputation, I started with 80 reputation, I don't think it fell below like 78 or something. Yeah, it stayed here. I don't think it went lower than this, truthfully. Yeah, it stayed above that or higher than that the entire time. I remained stable. I never lost one of those zones. A part of it was because the sniper support helped me protect them. I didn't expect to protect them at the beginning, but I was able to clear out that first camp that was somewhere in this area, and then I was able to get over here in time to get rid of all of these, and the garrisons helped me keep them away. So without the garrisons as powerful as they are, this would have been a much more difficult challenge, I think. But we got it done. We're victorious, and yeah, I didn't have too much trouble with it. What about you guys? Did you have any trouble with this? Go ahead and leave a comment if you did, what you thought about this one, and if you liked this video, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.